Our story is quite interesting. In our company, we are all developers, and we used to work with Visual Basic and Access. Half of our office building was open for the public. We had a store. Then, one day, someone from Velneo walked into the store and asked us, "Oh, so you are developers?" And we said, "Yes, we build applications." And then he asked us, "And what do you use?" We said, "Visual Basic and Access." "And don't you know Velneo?" "Velneo? What's that?" he said. "Let me show you. Can I have a computer?" We gave him a computer connected to the internet. He downloaded the Velneo Navigator, he installed it in his computer and performed a remote connection to a server he had in his company. He showed us a bit the management application. We thought it was fine, but what really convinced us was when we saw the web in running time. We opened a web browser and opened a web page that was served by the management application he was showing us. On the web page, we went directly to the product catalog and selected a product. Then, in the management application, we opened the record for that product and changed the picture for another one. This change was immediately reflected on the web page. For me, considering that I work with web applications, this was completely unbelievable. Oh my God, what's happening? I don't know this. This is a new concept. Then, we requested a huge list, and it came like this, fast. It was really something that excited us. It convinced us. It convinced us so much that we migrated all our previous applications in Visual Basic and Access to Velneo in 3 months. We abandoned forever and ever Visual Basic and Access. Since then, we do everything with Velneo. Well, our first application was quite curious. Since we build many webs, we wanted to be sure about Velneo's web building capabilities. Then, the first thing we did was a game. The game was called Control Tower, and it consisted on many airplanes flying around the screen, each at a different height and direction, and you had to guide them to the airport and get them to land safely without losing control and having collisions. We did it all with Velneo, and then we were sure we could use it to build our web applications. Very dynamic applications that with other tools would take a lot more work to reach the same result. Yes, they landed correctly. We did some courses, basic and advanced. Everyone in the company did them, and everyone began developing quickly. It was harder for them than for me, because they were used to coding processes and functions all the time, like they did in Visual Basic. In Velneo, if you structure the database properly, since it is all integrated, this is, programmable items with the database and the binds among them, you save 50% of the time you spend coding with other tools. Let's see. We were doing the Advanced Velneo course, and my developing manager was also attending. We began around 8 or 9 in the morning, and what he usually does to try out a new developing environment is build a Simon game. You know, the colors, the lights, and you have to follow the sequence it performs. Okay, my boss began to develop it, and around 11 o'clock he said, "Hey Domingo, come here." "Oh, Simon, you finished it. Okay, let's play." And we began to play. That convinced him that if he had developed Simon in 2-3 hours with Velneo, he could probably do anything in a very short period of time. Okay, I come from ASP and Internet Information Server, and every time I developed for dynamic webs, I would do it for this environment. In ASP, the first thing I had to do was define a connection to the database. Every time I wanted to access the database, I had to open the connection, use SQL, execute it against the database to get what I wanted from the tables, and when I began with Velneo, I was a bit lost because I thought, hey, I don't have to do none of this. Everything is integrated. It's all in one. It serves the data, it serves the application, and it serves the web. It serves it all at the same time. I don't have to open connections nor execute SQLs. It's all available always at all time. That was the first thing that really surprised me. I was shocked when I realized that all connections through the web used up only one user, only accounting for one connection. Therefore, there is only one web user really. I have unlimited server for the web. This really shocked me. In the beginning, this was very confusing because I thought, there are no session variables. How do I control the web users? And I began to reconsider the Velneo option because if I have no control over the web users, maybe it's not the best environment for web development. But thinking about it again, with Velneo, you can do practically anything. So you can create one table for visits, you can enter user sessions. From that same table, you can create pointers to any other tables in the application, and you can pass on very complex information regarding the user and the data he uses from page to page in a very simple way by creating a parameter to pass on all over the web. This convinced me because even though there are no user management controls, there are no session variables, what do I need them for? I can create them, and I am not limited by the session variables that other tools offer. I can do as many as I want, however I want. That gives me power and flexibility that with ASP and Internet Information Server I didn't have.